We'll rank every German premium tank, and I'm not paid by Gaijin. If it's a stanky tank, I'll let you know, because I bought all these myself, and I don't want you to waste money on some absolute nonsense, bro. So we'll rank 2 things. Is it fun, and is it effective at researching and bringing you silver? Let's start with a Panzer II-C. You get this guy for free if you choose Germany as your first tank nation, and you're pretty much never gonna play it anyways. After a rebuff, it got a stabilizer, which is really nice, and it has this pretty nice autocannon, which I think they increased their rate of fire for this thing. In general, it's a pretty fun tank, but you're never gonna play it because it doesn't give you any silver at all, and it's not giving you any XP at all. So it goes to F tier. NBFS, also known as Reindeer. It's an interesting premium vehicle which gives you this new kind of gameplay with 2 cannons and absolutely no armor and absolutely no speed. So, I mean, it's fun to play with. It's a unique experience, and only because of that unique experience, it goes above F tier. But otherwise, it's pretty useless. KFZ-141. Not a bad vehicle at all. It actually has a pretty good autocannon, which is also stabilized. It's pretty fast, and it has a little bit of armor, which is amazing. Like, you can smack planes as easily as you can smack tanks. So it's a fun, strong vehicle to play with. But the thing is, it's also useless in terms of, like, researching other vehicles and just getting silver. So it goes to D tier. 15-centimeter Panzer 42. That legendary silver multiplier that it used to have got destroyed completely. And now it's just this expensive, useless piece of shit. It's unbelievable. But I mean, dear God, look at that prize, dude. What the hell? It's hard to play with, and the only bonus that it had got removed. Well, actually, there's another bonus that no other tanking game has, and that is the ability to kill yourself. It's crazy. I was surprised you can actually do this with this tank. That's the only good thing about this vehicle. If you shoot at a fence close to yourself, you will kill yourself. It just screams, put me to F tier, please, I beg you. And because we are very, very kind people, we're going to satisfy this request and put it straight to F tier. Panzer IIIN. I mean, listen, the water was cold, all right? Basically, this is the guy that Googles for the average size. The tank itself ain't that bad, and sometimes it can be a pretty dominant beast. So basically, it gives us this great life example that it's not the size that matters, it's how you use it. And I mean, this guy smacks. It has no issues with penetration, and it has a very, very fast reload speed, which allows you to take on multiple opponents at the same time, which is really, really great. However, it farms pretty much the same amount of silver as some free-to-play vehicles, and it's not going to get you very far research-wise. But it's not that bad of a choice either, so it gets to like C tier. KV-2. It has multiple benefits, right? Big cannon, which will make things disappear real fast. People will be afraid of having any sort of human communication with you. On top of all that, you'll be able to make yourself some tea and do some house chores right after every single shot. Well, in that case, it sounds like it's just some simple KV-2, but just like German trophy style, right? Well, not really, because it has this one amazing feature which only Russian USSR premium KV-2 has, and it costs $150. This tiny little machine gun right over there might not sound like much, but it's actually a really big deal, because normal KV-2 has this issue. If some enemy is standing behind a fence or a tree, you just can't kill him because your shell is going to explode on that fence. But this German guy can break it with a small machine gun. So you just destroy the fence and it's no problem at all. You just send the shot and you get the kill, which is awesome, and it helps in so many different situations. It's absolutely crazy. Well, at the end of the day, long reload speed will mean less kills per hour if you compare it to someone with a faster reload and good penetration, good damage, all that kind of stuff, which is less silver and XP per hour, and that puts it to a C tier. It's still good, it is good, but it's just your farming is going to be just a little bit reduced. So Panzer IV-J, good, cheap, it brings you a good amount of silver, it's a reliable vehicle. Will it offer you some interesting gameplay? Of course not, of course not. Does that make it bad? No. It's pretty good. But what is bad is the fact that whenever you buy this tank, these cool looking skirts are not there, because there's this completely useless module which is turned on by default, which takes them off. So if you turn this thing off, then you get the skirts. The skirts are pretty useless though, thanks to these two gentlemen who pointed it out. It goes to B tier. It goes to B tier. Trophy Churchill. I like it. As long as you angle your turret and your body and you keep moving back and forth like this, you'll be fine, because it has a stabilizer, and USSR vehicles have problems when it comes to penetrating Churchills. They just don't have a lot of penetration in general. And you know, Churchill has pretty good armor, but the main benefits are just fire rate of a machine gun, dude. You keep sending those shots like every few seconds, dude. And they have pretty good penetration, and you have a lot of smokes, which will help you to annoy enemies, cover yourself, all that kind of stuff, block yourself from enemy fire. It's really, really, really useful. The issue is you can't really drive backwards. It's extremely slow. I personally think that it is worthy of an A tier because it has amazing silver multiplier. It can bring you a lot of silver. It won't get you far research-wise, and some people call this vehicle very weak, and I understand where they're coming from. It's usually more experienced players who know all the weak spots and they know how to one-shot Churchill, but there's not that many experienced players in this game, so it's gonna be an issue sometimes, rarely, but I mean, you can deal with it. You can deal with it. T-34-747. It's not bad because Panthers are in your team now, which means the only big problem that you're going to face is going to be T-34-85, KV-85, M4A2, and T-1 heavies. It's a normal T-34 with a little bit higher BR because of this plate right over here, which free-to-play T-34 doesn't have. But free-to-play T-34 doesn't have to face those stronger opponents anyways because of lower BR. So it doesn't really even need that plate to begin with. And does that plate help you? Not really. It goes to C tier. Brumbar. Meme. It's just a pure meme. Is it fun? Sometimes, yeah. But do you want to use a meme vehicle to unlock like lots of vehicles and farm silver? Probably not. So even though it is strong and fun sometimes, and in like small cities, dude, this thing just smacks. But you're not always gonna get the city maps, right? Based on our luck, as soon as you pick Brumbar, you pretty much never gonna get a city map. So it goes to like B tier. KV-1C. Man, does this thing slap. Great, fantastic armor, amazing cannon, great penetration. It deals okay damage. I mean, I think it used to deal a little bit more damage, but like lately, it got toned down a little bit. Comfortable ranks, beginner friendly, it farms XP, great silver multiplier, so it's going to remain silver farmer for like the rest of your life. S tier, it goes to S tier. I really love this thing. Porsche Tiger. This is one of my most favorite tanks in game. Fantastic cannon, great speed forwards and backwards, insane armor against unexperienced guys. It works like this. With normal Tiger, you have to angle yourself all the time. With this Tiger, you can't angle because if you do angle, you expose your weak spot, which is this plate right over here, and you get one-shotted over there. So if you have bushes and you put it in pretty much this way, you're going to increase your survivability like crazy because people won't be able to tell the difference between Tiger Porsche and they will think that you're just this normal Tiger, right? They're gonna be thinking like, oh my god, this Tiger player is so stupid, he's not even angling, dude. And what this open plate right over here does, it's just this massive juicy bait that everyone takes and they shoot at you, right? And they think they're just gonna get a free kill right now. And then what they realize is that you're not this simple Tiger, you're Tiger Porsche, and you have as much armor as Ferdinand in 6.7 BR. And as their shell hits your weak spot, right, you just see their happiness leave their soul, and it's just the most beautiful thing ever. So, and if you cover up the Commander Cupola, then you're absolutely golden. If you don't, like, these Shermans are going to be a pretty big deal because they are stabilized, and usually they're gonna take the first shot. So, yeah, be careful of these guys. These guys are very, very dangerous. Tiger Porsche definitely deserves S tier because it is amazing. Yak Panther, a serious good tank destroyer which is armed with fantastic cannon and pretty good armor as well. It farms silver, it farms XP, it feels great overall. There's no turret though, but if you're absolutely fine not having it, then this gal is she's gonna bring you some thick rewards, right? It goes to absolute A tier because it is really, really good. A bit slow though, but I mean, you're gonna be slow and have such thickness. Listen, it weighs you down, bro. King Tiger 2H. Yet again, another powerhouse. The standard combo of great armor and fantastic cannon strikes again is just a very, very good vehicle. You won't have any issues when it comes to silver, nor will you have any problems when it comes to unlocking vehicles, right? Until like rank 6, right? It's pretty easy to get nukes with. It's just a beast of a vehicle. All you gotta do is like turn your turret just a little bit. Don't overturn it because then you'll expose the cheek and it's a weak spot. You just get one-shotted over there instantly. So just a little bit of turn. And then what you gotta start doing is you gotta start moving your cannon like a helicopter, bro. Because dudes get desperate, right? They can't penetrate you. And the only thing that they start doing is shooting at your cannon. So if you just keep swinging that boy around, like, you're gonna be fine. It also has this fantastic reload speed. I mean, it's just a really good choice overall. Goes straight to S tier. It is legendary tank. It's just fantastic. RU-251. The thing with this guy, right? It is extremely fast, right? Crazy fast, just unbelievably fast. It has no armor. That means planes. Yeah, you're pretty much an open roof vehicle. Arty is also no good, but it has great penetration. So if you have like difficulties penetrating dudes with this vehicle, you won't have any. The only big twist about this vehicle, damage is extremely unreliable because it's using heats. And it's like one update, it just one-shots everything. You feel amazing, you feel great, you start becoming aggressive, you believe in yourself, you're just one-shotting dudes left and right, you get nukes, dropping nukes. It's fun. And then next day, there's like a 3.5 megabyte update, right? You peek this guy, you have the upper hand, you're feeling great, you're feeling fine. You shoot at the guy and the damage is just not there. There's like zero spall at all. And RU-251 falls down from this S tier to like C tier because you're just shooting at the guys and you're dealing nothing. The next update, it's S tier again. So it's just like the only issue is reliability. It's just, it doesn't have reliable damage. So it goes to the bottom of A tier because you pay money and you don't really know what you're gonna get. But it is really good. Sometimes this vehicle just shines so bright, it's unbelievable. So yeah, bottom of the A tier. M47G, this is the guy that pretty much nobody knows, nobody talks about, and most importantly, nobody cares about either. Cannon is good, mobility is good, it's pretty much Mr. Nothing special, right? With one big weakness. Whenever you try to peek over a hill, right, you expose this big juice of forehead. I mean, dear God, you can land like 3 P8s on that thing. I mean, just don't get it. I mean, unless you really love M47s, it's a B tier vehicle, nothing special. Totem 3. Most guys know about this vehicle because whenever you meet this guy, you might have a pretty dangerous fight. Also, if Totem 3 flanks successfully, half of the team is just going to die because this guy has a very comfortable 5-second reload paired with a 30mm fantastic cannon, which is amazing at shredding down helicopters and planes and light tanks. Well, planes, I mean, if you can get your cannon high enough, then you're gonna shred them, but usually it just doesn't lift that high. Mobility is top-notch, speed is great, aiming speed is amazing, you have this fantastic stabilizer. Sounds OP, right? Well, the stronger the player, the more OP it is. But beginners and just average players, they're gonna find it pretty difficult to play with because it doesn't have any armor at all, and it is a pretty big boy. It's going to be pretty hard to hide this guy, and if this guy gets hit, you just die instantly. Every mistake you make is going to be pretty much your last mistake that you made. What I'm trying to say is that it's not this brain-dead vehicle. It does require a little bit of thinking and map knowledge, but I mean, if you know those things, it's going to be absolutely amazing dominant beast. Very strong, very skill-reliant tank. I would like to put it at S tier, honestly, but I know that for most people, for majority of players, the guys that play with this tank and not plays against this tank, it's going to go to A tier. Because whenever you play against Totem 3, it's obviously going to A tier. It's impossible to kill, all that kind of stuff. But as soon as you buy it and you start playing it, you just get one-shotted if you make one single mistake. So, I mean, it's just how life works, guys. It's just life. Personally, fantastic, amazing vehicle, and it goes to the top of the A tier. TAM2IP, it's a fast, fantastic, extremely mobile vehicle, which has survivability slapped on top of it. Obviously, sometimes it just dies from one shot at the freaking track, but sometimes this guy lives like a crackaroni, dude. Good silver multiplier, good XP multiplier, laser range finder, fully stabilized, great cannon, great penetration. I mean, it's really good overall. It doesn't have thermals though, but I mean, I think it deserves A tier and should stand right next to like Totem 3 right over here. If personally, I would have to choose one premium vehicle to buy, more silver, Totem 3. And if I would like to unlock a little bit more vehicles, I would probably pick TAM 2. Leo A1A1. It's old, but is it still gold? Well, it's a little bit slow. It has this great, fantastic cannon, but no survivability and no armor. So it's like anti-air vehicles are going to shred this thing, like into pieces in seconds. Average mobility. It has thermals, but I mean, do you really need them? Because they're really, really bad. I mean, you're going to damage your eyesight more than it's going to help you see the enemies. It's not a bad vehicle, but it feels wrong giving this guy A tier. Well, because it's more average than good. I think it's a strong B tier. It's at the top of the B tier because it is good, but not good enough to go to A tier. But you can get nukes with this thing, no problems. Just saying. Yeah, top B tier. How many people feelings did I just hurt? Let me know in the comments. Leo 2 Panzer Battalion 123. Leo 2 was always good. Good mobility, good speed, okay-ish cannon, okay-ish penetration, thermal, smoke, everything. It has great survivability, but what you do need to know is weak spots where you're going to shoot T-72s, T-80s, and all that kind of stuff. You need to know maps, and you need to know timings. If you know all those things, it's going to be fantastic, Dominant Beast. But to those newer players, I mean, you would be fine as well. You would watch like few tutorial vids, 50 tips, like those videos I made. Like, I mean, they're really good. They instantly gonna bump up your skill. You're gonna be feeling way better. And you could watch like a couple content creators, like streamers, which is really, really helpful because you'll just get this idea where to look for enemies and what positions are good, what positions are bad. You just look a couple streamers up and you should be fine. You should start smacking boys, no problem. It's not that complicated, to be honest with you. So for experienced guys and guys that are willing to learn about the game, it goes to A tier. And the last, Leo 2A4M. It's more expensive, so it has to be better, right? Well, let me tell you how I felt after getting this thing. Because when you buy a premium tank, you feel happy. You're like, yeah, let's go. Like, silver starts pouring in. You're feeling amazing. You smack boys. It's just like buying yourself a toy, right? That's how it feels. But with this thing, 10 matches later, I was like, God damn, dude, 70 bucks so that I would sweat and struggle my ass off against these T80 BVMs and SCRVs? Well, let me explain you one secret. The tank itself is okay, with a very difficult battle rate. New players, whenever they try to buy a new premium vehicle, what do? They pick a vehicle, they go to test drive, they shoot at AFK bots to see the penetration. They're like, oh my god, it penetrates everyone and one-shots everyone. They check the thermals, the tank looks good. I mean, it's the highest level option that you can get, and they just buy it. The same thing was happening with the older Leo 2. It was the highest level premium tank that you could get for Germany. And the thing is, all the noobs bought this vehicle, and either they stopped playing completely in general, or they got good, and now you have pretty okay teammates that you can rely on a little bit, just a little bit, not too much. But with 2A4M right now, dude, you're just gonna have these newborns in your team constantly. And that means that your team quality is just going to be absolutely horrible. And this tank isn't OP enough to carry you through those matches because they're going to be difficult. You're going to be meeting a lot of spawliners as well. It's hard playing this tank, man. I personally wouldn't recommend it. At the end of the day, all it has is like a little bit more armor, which in higher BRs doesn't really help at all. Better thermals and Keg W shell, which is pretty good. And because you'll have to be fighting all these really strong nations, it's not like you're going to have this nice relaxing experience with 15 kills and 200,000 silver. It's going to feel more like we're going back to work, bro. Straight to the factory, homie. It's just you'll have to earn that silver. So in general, it is okay vehicle, right? But it just has this horrible battle rating. If it would have been like 11.3, but with no thermals or horrible thermals, it would have been like definitely S tier. It would be amazing. I would tell you to just go and get it right now because it's that great. But now you just get 12.7, 12.7, 12.7, 12.7. So it goes to this average B tier, and it would go lower, but I'm coping, bro. I spent 70 bucks for this wonderful experience, which I can't get enough of. It's such a wonderful, good tank. I must have just skill issue, bro. Tell me what you think about these vehicles. Until next time, boys.
Well done.